Hi YouTube family, welcome back to Charmaine's Kitchen. It is the season for all our Christmas recipes. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a recipe for our Guyanese homemade bread. A very simple, easy recipe. I'm going to do one flat bread and one loaf bread. And you know our pepper pot that we prepare on Christmas morning and our garlic meat doesn't go nice without a homemade bread. So today I'm going to show you my version, very easy to follow, and you can have this during the entire year. So if you want to see my bread recipe, stick around and let's make it together. To start with making our bread, I have my all-purpose flour here. Very simple ingredients. I have some lukewarm milk, lukewarm water. I have a pack of instant yeast, sugar. We're gonna activate our yeast before we start the process. And I have some butter melting here on my stove. I like to use softened or melted butter for my bread. Let's get down to activating our yeast. So to activate the yeast nice and quick, I like to add some brown sugar. And I'm gonna go in with my packet of yeast. It's 8 grams. I'm gonna give you the measurement in the description box below. And I'm gonna just mix this a little. And then we're gonna set it aside until it activates properly before we start the mixing process. Into the flour, I'm gonna add some brown sugar. This always adds a nice flavor to the bread and give you that nice beautiful brown finish. I'm gonna mix it up a little, and then we will go in here with all our wet ingredients. We're gonna add our milk into the flour. My melted butter or softened butter can work as well. After about 8 to 10 minutes, the yeast is fully activated. As you can see, it's nice and puffy and have that frothiness on the top. That's when you know that it's ready. So I'm gonna mix it up a little. As you can see, it's nicely activated. And if you don't have a mixer, this can be done with hand. I did it with hand many times and it works very nice, and you will still get your beautiful bread out of it. Now we're gonna put this in our mixer and give it a nice mix. So as you can see, my dough is nice and soft. We're gonna transfer it to this bowl here. Before I do so, I'm gonna add some olive oil and just coat the bottom of the bowl just like that. And we're gonna leave this dough to rest for at least 1 hour. You can go as long as you like. I'm gonna be making dinner, so I'll leave it until I am finished with some prep work, and then I'll come back to it. So nice and soft. This is really soft. I like to cover my dough tightly with a plastic wrap, or if you have a bowl with cover, it works very nice. So now I'm gonna cover it tightly and leave it in my oven with the oven light on. Usually some heat helps the dough to rise up nice and double in size quickly, and you're gonna get a perfect dough. So 1 hour at least, and then we will come back. Here is my bread dough. Look how beautiful it is. Very nice and poofy. I'm gonna go in there and puncture this dough. We're gonna start plaiting some bread. This is one of my most satisfying part, to puncture the dough. Put some flour on the counter. As you can see, my dough is nice and soft. I love the smell of fresh dough. I'm gonna knead this dough back for a few minutes. Give it a good kneading. After giving the dough a good kneading, I'm gonna cut this dough in 2 pieces I'm gonna make a loaf of bread. So I will just roll this off nicely. And I'm gonna quickly brush the bottom of this loaf pan and the side. Not too much brushing. And I'm gonna put it in here and leave it to rest for another 45 minutes to an hour. This is gonna be my loaf of bread. And this one here, we're gonna cut this back in 3 pieces to make our plat bread. So to make our plat bread, we're just gonna make some long, nice pieces with this one. And we're gonna do that for all the rest. We're gonna make them nice and long like this in order for us to be able to plat them. So if you notice from my recipe, I didn't add any salt into the bread because I usually use salted butter. If you were to use unsalted butter, please remember to add a little bit of salt in there. The salt is just to combine all the flavors to nicely come together. So now we have even pieces of dough here, and this is how we're gonna start our plat bread. So I usually paste the ends together like that, or seal the ends, and then we will go ahead and start the plaiting process. So you go under and then over, under, over. If you don't get it, just play around until you get it. And that's how we're gonna continue to do this. I'm gonna butter up the bottom of my baking dish, and then we will put this in here just like that. And we're gonna rest this bread again, but before we do that, I'm gonna just seal the top. We're gonna make an extra piece here. You can make it without, but I like to make it with this extra piece on the top. And then we're gonna add this extra piece on the top here, and then give it a nice press. I'm gonna cover them back and let them sit again, and then we'll come back to them in a few minutes. So here is my bread after resting it for over an hour again. The longer you leave it to rest, the better result you will get. This is the loaf pan, and this is my plat bread. I'm gonna be baking it in a 350-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, and it will be ready. So for this mixture, I'm getting 2 nice pans of bread. I have a plat bread and I have a loaf pan. And while we're waiting for the bread to bake, I have a birthday shout out to Kim. Kim, these birthday wishes are coming from your friend Riza. From me and the YouTube family, we wish you a happy, happy birthday and many more birthdays to come. And here is my bread, my loaf pan. Look at my bread, how nice and beautiful and soft. Very, very nice and soft. As soon as I took them out the oven, I brushed them with some nice butter. And this is my plat bread here. Nicely done, brown and nice. Very, very soft. And I don't have my pepper pot made yet. So I'm gonna have these with some of those Tandy's jam tonight. Just a little piece to taste for you all. But you know this is gonna be on my table on Christmas morning with my pepper pot, some homemade bread. This is just a recipe to share with all the viewers. Check that bread out, nice and light. And I can make a batch every week, and my kids really, really love it and enjoy it. The sugar helped to add a nice sweetness to the bread, and it is so soft, so light. This bread is very, very light, and look, perfectly done. So nice and soft, like a piece of sponge. I don't want to cut into this one yet. This is everybody's absolute favorite. They love this one, and it's so nice with anything, cheese, jam, butter, just on its own like that. So here is my jam for tonight. Because I'm not finished making my pepper pot as yet, I'm gonna try with the mango, watermelon, and pineapple. And I'm sure a lot of you would like to know how these new flavor of jelly taste. The mango is a jam and The watermelon is a jelly along with the pineapple. So let me cut a piece of this nice, beautiful, soft bread. Look how nice and soft that bread is. And taste it. It smells so good. And let you guys know how it tastes. I'm saving this one for tomorrow. So guys, I'm gonna do my taste test, and I'm trying out these new jam tonight. The bread is so nice. My kitchen smell like the bakery, so nice and soft. I'm gonna try the mango one. A little bit of the mango, just one bite, and you guys know mango is everybody's favorite. The one I'm mostly excited to try is the watermelon. And the bread is nice and soft, and it smells so good. Not like freshly baked bread to go with your pepper pot on Christmas morning. So let me try the watermelon. It's kind of thick. Let me move on to the pineapple. My favorite is the mango. And to be honest with you, when I bake fresh bread, I don't care for anything to eat it with. I can eat my bread just like this on its own. Look at that. So nice and delicious. Gotta try this recipe. This recipe will give you 2 nice loaves of bread that can feed a family of 5 and leftover for one meal. So hope you guys will give this a try and bake it for your pepper pot on Christmas morning. I'm going to be baking another batch by then. Take care. God bless. Love you guys. Bye for now. Stay tuned for more Christmas recipe.